everybody know to grab some sort of a firm a pillow or book or something that has a little weight that you can rest on your belly when we're on our backs, so that we can do some deep breathing exercises. So let's come to seated position. Sitting up tall. And today we'll start our deep breathing by bringing our hands to rib cage. So bringing the fingers kind of close together, or they might even kind of overlap, but you want to feel some of the palm on the lower part of the rib cage. And so we're going to allow ourselves to quiet down in the mind. This practice of yoga has much more to do with quieting and focusing the mind than people often talk about. And really, this is such a big part of it when we're talking about the physical part. It is to help with the larger part, which is quiet the mind, to be able to focus and concentrate the mind, to clarify the mind, to wash it clean of memories, of thoughts flying around everywhere, of analyzing and judging. So we have hands on the rib cage and quieting the mind. We're just going to watch the breath through the hands and the feeling in the hands, breathing naturally. Naturally might mean that the breath is uneven or even. It might mean that you barely feel the rib cage moving, because maybe the breath is a little bit more shallow and kind of stuck in the chest. Just noticing what is with the breath at this time. Now let's take a deep breath and breathe in through the nose and feel the belly and the rib cage expand out. And then exhale out through the mouth and just release. So we're going to clear the breath so that we can start breathing more deeply. So again, breathing in through the nose, resetting, exhaling out through the mouth. Now let's shift right into Ujjayi Pranayama. So breathing in, fogging out, fogging in through the mouth, closing the mouth, exhale through the nostrils. And still making that fogging action in the throat. But now with the hands where they are, I'm going to see if we can notice that the rib cage really presses out on the inhale. And what happens is the diaphragm drops and gives space as well to the lungs so that they expand out. And you feel that all through the midsection. And then exhale, release. And the diaphragm comes right back up. So it's going up and down like an elevator. And let's take a few more rounds like this, focusing on the deepest breath possible. Still watching the breath through the hands. Seeing that on the inhalation, hands get further apart. Exhalation, hands get closer together. Now you might release the hands and continue to wash this region of the body, just letting the arms relax. Let's shift now and come into our invocation for the practice. So we're bringing meaning to our practice, recognizing that there is much more here than the physical body that we're working with. So you can bring palms together. I bow to the presence of the divine within, our true and highest teacher that lives in and around us as being, consciousness, and bliss. It is ever present and radiates peace, lighting the way to transformation. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let's come down to the back. We're going to do a little bit more with developing the breath. So once you're on the back, you can keep the feet planted, or you can straighten the legs. Either way is going to work. And then we're going to bring a little bit of weight to the belly. So bringing whatever prop you found, and if it doesn't work, then just find another. Should be okay though. So basically we're just going to lie here and continue to breathe deeply, but let's set up the body a little bit. So take the shoulders back and then let the weight of the body stabilize the shoulder blades. And then we're going to continue breathing so that on the inhalation, that weight, you can feel that weight push down on the belly as you inhale and expand the belly. And then exhale, release. So it becomes more apparent, and then you don't have to, deal with the hands. And then we're also creating some strength here. So inhaling and then exhaling, releasing. So the belly pulls in, and so does that object. And then we're going to continue a few more times with just focusing on the belly. So not worrying about moving up to the rib cage, up to the chest like we do in our complete yogic breaths. Maybe even seeing how high you can raise this object with the belly. We're going to keep breathing like this a few more cycles. And here we can think about, well, I'm bringing in nourishment and I'm releasing toxins through the breath. So I'm really helping the physical body. But then we can go beyond that and say, well, I'm actually focusing on bringing in actual energy into this body through the vehicle of the breath. The breath is the vehicle for prana, which is that life energy, that vital force, cosmic energy. And so with that thought, you might start to really let yourself feel through your being a little life, right? Some buzzing, maybe through the fingers, the hands, the toes, feeling more and more alive and invigorated with every breath, and yet calm and not chaotic, calm and relaxed. And so now we're going to develop the breath a little bit more by working up to the rib cage too. So inhaling and filling and lifting the belly, letting the diaphragm drop, working that expansion up to the rib cage, up to the chest, the collarbone, and then releasing down from the collarbone, rib cage, and then the belly, and that prop will drop last. So continuing this complete breath. So that prop helps you sense what is happening with the belly. And as we're inhaling and filling and the rib cage lifts, the prop will fall a little bit. The belly will dip, and then exhale, release. And then the belly will pull in further and the prop draws down. So continuing this and now going a little further into what is this pranic breath doing? What is this life energy doing as we're focusing on it? Soothing the emotions. Pacifying any irritability, any agitation, and invoking an inner peace and calm. Sense of comfort and support. When the emotions are settled, the mind and the emotions, they go together. You can sense that the mind itself is calm, less concerned with petty things. Or concerns with the essential qualities of life for these physical bodies, which is, again, this prana that we're working with through the vehicle of the breath. So let's take a few more rounds, really experiencing the fullness of the breath in the way that it affects the physical body, the emotions, and the thoughts, the heart and the mind, the emotional body and the mental body. So when we're able to enter into this more still place in the body, the heart and the mind, we're opening up to our higher faculties, our spiritual faculties, becoming more receptive to them. So now let's just take 2 more deep breaths with that knowledge. And then you can take a big exhalation out through the mouth. And now let's start to open the eyes a little bit and just notice that we can see, and then let the thumbs and the fingers meet each other and touch the palms, and notice that we can feel with the hands, and then maybe start to move the toes around and notice we can feel with the toes. And we can keep this prop on top for a moment. Let's bring the feet together and start to take the arms behind and then lift the belly upwards. Find a bit of a back bend. So now you can sense the low back and the activity there. Another deep breath and seeing if you can still move this prop with the belly. And release down. We can remove the prop at this time. We're going to be bringing the right knee into the chest, just the right knee, and then hold the right knee with the hands. And let's give a little bit of movement to the knee. So maybe swaying it a little side to side. Let's take this leg in circles, guided by both hands or maybe just the right hand. You might not need the left. It's going in circles one way. And then we're going to circle the other way. And we're going to go for a release in the hip flexor today. So first, let's bring that knee in towards the center and bring both hands again to it and start to just pull the knee in and then lift the head. So center meaning, you know, exactly where if you were to just draw it in, it's going to be slightly off to the right because the leg is towards the right. And you'll just lift the head for a moment and just draw the leg in a little closer. And then lower the head down. And maybe release the knee just a tad. Take this leg over to the right, taking it with the right hand. Actually bring the right arm on top of the right leg. And now let's create some resistance here. So we're going to push the leg and the arm into each other on the inhalation, and then release the leg on the exhalation, but pull it down or push it down with the right arm. And again, pressing in on the inhalation, really activating, and then exhale. So put a little bit more effort in this third one. Inhaling, pressing the limbs into each other, and then exhale, releasing. Press that leg down for 2 more deep breaths. And then bring the leg to center. Let's take a single-legged spinal twist. Guide this right leg over to the left with the left arm. Take the right arm out to the right. Turn the head to the right and work the right shoulder blade down. And then let's turn the head side to side for a moment. Okay, turn the head away from that right knee. And then let's bring the leg to center. So from here, let's work a little bit more on this right leg. We're going to take the leg in towards this trunk, but you're going to find the spot that feels right to you. So this is probably about like the way that you sit. So if you tend to sit in a chair, maybe the knee is going to be a little bit more centered. If you tend to sit cross-legged a lot, it might be out to the right a bit. So you're going to find that spot where it feels a little easier to be there, and then you're going to just keep drawing the leg in. And here we're going to take some deep breaths, as we did before, complete yogic breaths. You might find that the trunk is pressing against the right thigh as you inhale. Maybe even make it a goal, try to get it there. Some more deep breaths here. So we're really activating, we're really contracting, and we're helping to contract the hip flexor with the use of the arms and the hugging of the leg. So really contracting that so that we can eventually slowly release it and get some relief there. It's a tight muscle for most of us. And so let's bring our attention to that section. A muscle that connects the right thigh to the right side of the abdomen. And now we're going to start to release. So this is actually related to low back pain as well. So this is the reason why we're working on this. Now we're going to start to slowly release by holding this leg with the right hand and not activating the muscle that we were just contracting. So we're going to release the leg till you have the foot come down, and then you'll slowly release so that you don't trigger the muscle to react. You're going to drag the foot down and then releasing the leg. You find your leg is straight. We're going to just start to wiggle the right leg. So let the toes go in and out like a, windshield wiper thing. Going in and out, in and out. Nice little wiggle. So another wiggle or two. Before we go further, we want to see if we can sense the subtle differences between the right and the left side. So let's just release the arms for a moment and just relax the body completely. Notice the right thigh and the right hip crease and above the hip crease. Okay, how does that feel? Now notice the left side, the thigh, the hip crease, and then above the hip crease. So if you're really sensing the change, the right side is going to feel more alive. You might feel some buzzing in relation to the left. You're going to feel prana moving through, right? You're feeling circulation in many aspects moving through this region. Where in the left side, it's dull. And the right side, you might even feel cool, like cool liquid or even warm liquid moving through that region. The left side, it feels dull and almost dead, like nothing is moving there. So that's really important because we're connecting to subtleties here today and beyond just this physical flesh. So now we're going to start to bring in the left knee and give it a big squeeze. And some maybe moving left and right. And then maybe some circles with the left arm alone or both arms. And circling the other way. And then we're going to take this leg and I think we could kind of pull it in the center first here. I don't remember which one we did first, but let's just draw it in a bit with both arms. Lift the head for a couple breaths. And then lowering the head, take the leg over to the left. So now we're going to bring left arm to the inside of the left leg, and then here we'll create some resistance. So inhaling, pushing the limbs into each other. Put some effort in there, as much as you can. And then exhale, relax the left leg. Okay, inhaling, pressing in. Exhaling, relax. One more time. And exhale, relax. Still pressing the left leg down now for another breath or two. We're going to bring the leg to center and then guide the leg over to the right. Take the left arm out to the left. Work the left shoulder blade down. Turn the head to the left. Actually move the head side to side a little bit too. And then turning the head away from the knee. We'll bring the leg to center. And then we'll have both hands around it. We're going to find again that sweet spot, the place where it just feels easy to have the leg there. And then we're going to be holding it in. Using the strength of the arms. Taking deep, complete breaths so that you can make it an objective here to feel the abdomen push into the thigh. A few more deep breaths. So we're going to start to release this again, but nice and slowly so that there's no effort on the part of the leg. So gently releasing the pressure with the hands and eventually supporting the leg until the foot comes down. And then sliding that left foot slowly forward. And then wiggling this left leg a bit, swaying it to and fro. And then when you're ready, just relax the leg completely. Relax the arms. We want to bring the attention now to the left leg, the left thigh, the hip crease, and above the hip crease. And hopefully now you feel similar sensations to the right, and they feel equally alive, equally vibrant. Same sensation in terms of maybe you're feeling like a cool liquid feeling or warm liquid feeling kind of moving around in this region. And then you can start to sense that the parts below and above are dull and feeling like they're lifeless in comparison to the thighs and this area right above them. So it's just so neat to experience. And then let's see if we can make that experience stretch through the lower body and the upper body too. So we're going to plant the feet down, and we're actually going to go into bridge posture. And this is because now we've really opened up this region, so we're going to be able to open it, even more through this action. So we're going to have the feet planted close to the bottom, and then we'll walk the shoulders back towards each other. Now we're going to take little bridge postures first. So in the next inhale, just begin to pull the pelvis in and feel that the low back is touching the mat, and then relax that. So just that for a few moments here, or just a little moment. So we're pulling the pelvis in, and then we feel the low back meet, we feel the abdomen activate, and then release that. Now if you want, you can bring the hands to the belly, and as you're taking these pelvic tilts, feel the activity of the belly. So drawing the pelvis in, feeling the firmness of the belly, and then lifting the belly up and feeling the low back release from the mat. Take a few more of these. And this strong abdomen helps protect the low back, so we want to focus on that structure. Now we're going to start to work a little bit more to lift the hips. So you can release the arms, pull the pelvis and feel the low back meet, and then begin to activate the glutes to press the hips upwards. Press the hips up just for a moment. Feel that the glutes are actively engaged here, and then begin to lower all the way down. And then relaxing that so you can feel the low back lift away, and then press the low back in. So you tilt pelvis in, lift the hips, activate the glutes. Keep the toes facing forward, and then exhale, start to release down, and then relax. So let's take a few of these. Pressing up. Relaxing. The next one we're going to hold. So just release one more time down. And then this time we'll pull up. And then begin to walk the shoulders back towards each other. Now here, you can draw the knees towards each other as if you're holding a block firmly between the knees. So there's space between them, but they're drawing towards each other. Maybe interlace the fingers under the hips, straighten the arms, press the arms down as you lift the hips up higher, feeling the glutes engaged, feeling the low back engaged. And then let's take 4 breaths here, watching now with the lower part of your vision here, the belly rise and fall, the abdomen, the rib cage. And release down. Bring both of the knees into the chest. Give them a big squeeze. It's a very slow, long start before our standing postures. And we are going to have some standing postures. So lift the head and draw the knees in. Well, sometimes it's just so nice to not have to take any standing postures and just let ourselves be. as close to the ground as possible. Okay, so we're going to rock up and cross the ankles. And then right from here, we're going to fold. So big transition. Ankles crossed or foot in front of shin. Sitting bones stay down. And just begin to release down. Let the body be very heavy here. The head gets a little heavier. See if you can support the head so that it can do that. If it's hanging loose, that's okay. We're not here too long. And then we're going to start to rise. Switch legs. Releasing down. It's okay if the back is rounding. Another 2 breaths. And then we're going to start to rise. From here, plant the feet. We're going to come into reverse table. So it's fingers facing forward, palms planting down, and the feet planted, hip distance apart. Inhale, lift the hips upwards. This tends to be a troubling posture for a lot of people, so just see where you can go. Lift the hips up, reverse table. We're looking to level the thighs and the trunk. Keep the head level. And then exhale, lower the hips down and just kind of resituate here. As now you know where we're going. We're going to go there a few more times. So inhale, lift the hips up once again. But if you want a little bit more challenge, you can lift a leg. Maybe even send it up towards the sky. One more breath. If the leg is risen, bring the foot back down and then exhale, lower the hips. Let's just take one more. So next inhalation, lift the hips back up. If you've got that leg lifted, you'll lift the other. You don't have to have the leg lifted. It's difficult enough. Take another deep breath. Exhale, lower the foot, lower the hips. Bring the soles of the feet together. We're going to fold forward again and release. So now my hands are feeling alive, wrists are feeling alive. It's a good time to maybe find a little bit of rotation there. Circling the hands and letting the head go. Let's take a clearing breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And just come up halfway And walk a little closer to one leg. Just walk a little closer, taking both hands there. Maybe reaching those hands away from the sitting bones. And maybe lowering the head closer towards that knee. Let's come up halfway and walk over to the other leg. And we'll come back to center. Release into this for 3 deep breaths. Letting all the tension go from the hips, the hip flexors. Letting the tension go in the neck and the shoulders. Down the back. And we'll slowly start to rise now. The head can rise last. We're going to close the legs here, cross the ankles, and then come forward onto hands and knees, where we'll shift right into downward facing dog. So palms planted, hips lifted. A little motion maybe, and about 3 breaths. So we're going to be stepping the right foot forward, and then we're going to walk to the left side of the mat. So we're coming right into a forward fold, wide leg forward fold. So once the arms are centered here, then you can just start to release into this and let the toes face inward for a moment, and let the ankles stretch a bit here. And let the head go. Maybe walk the hands behind, fingers face back. And then we'll bring the hands back to center underneath the shoulders. Come up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale the hands to the hips. Bend the knees slightly. And then begin to rise up to standing. We'll come into star posture. So bring the toes out and then take the arms to a T. Let's just stand nice and tall here for a moment. As we breathe deeply and readjust to this position. We're going to come into an extended triangle posture. So let's pivot the right toes to face the front of the mat. The arms stay nice and long. Left toes keep facing left side of the mat. Now for a moment, let's just collapse. So we're just going to do that just to see what it's like. So we're standing nice and tall. Now let's just collapse into the left hip. And then you see that the spine starts to do this, contortion, and we don't want to do that. So we're going to come back to the strong stance in the hips, right? Keeping the stability there. Then start to reach out with the right arm And let the trunk go with that arm without collapsing. And then exhale, lower the right hand to the right leg. Inhale, lift the left arm up, looking upwards past the left thumb, sending the crown of the head in the same direction as the right toes. Now we'll look down at the right foot. Inhale, rise up to standing, arms to a T. Right into the other side. So pivot the left toes to face the back of the mat. Right toes face the side of the mat. Collapse in. Feel that right hip. Then uncollapse. You might do that twice. So we want to make sure we don't do that ever. And then we'll take that left arm forward. Go with the left arm. Lower the left arm down. Lift the right arm up. Looking up past the right hand, sending the crown of the head in the same direction as the left toes. Next, exhale, look down at the left foot. Inhale, rise up to standing, arms to a T. We're going to go into revolving triangle posture. So bring the hands to the hips, heel toe the feet a little closer together, and then pivot to face the front of the mat. So both feet are facing forward, making sure the left toes aren't pointing out. They're facing forward. If you need a prop, bring it close by. This is one that props tend to help. Hands to hips. Inhale, lift the left arm upwards, look up. Exhale, bring the left hand down to the mat with fingers down maybe, or maybe palm to block. Now press into the right hip with the right hand. You can actually really just push that back, and you can see this will help us level the hips with each other. Turn the heart to the right. Maybe this is it right here, you stay here, or maybe you can take that right arm up. If you feel like you're fighting the right arm, don't worry about trying to send it up. Focus on hand to elbow, and then focus on really sending the elbow up. This is revolving triangle posture. Parivrita Trikonasana. And we'll exhale, bring the right hand down. We'll start to come up right from the center, bring the hands to the hips, and then we'll pivot to the other side. So take your prop with you if you're working with one. Situate the feet so they're facing the same direction. Again, back of the mat this time. Hands to hips. Inhale, lift the right arm up. We're keeping the leg straight, so if you've got the block, you can elevate it if needed. Exhale, right hand down. Press into the left hip. Feel that length in the spine, and then begin to turn to the left. Maybe focus on sending the elbow up. Or maybe take that left arm up. Turning the head to the left. Maybe upwards, looking up past the left thumb. And we'll exhale the left hand down. Inhale, hands to hips, rise up with the flat back. And then we'll face the side of the mat again. We're going to separate the feet apart and come into extended side angle posture. So right toes face the front of the mat, Left toes slightly in, arms to a T. Nice wide stance between the feet. Exhale, lunge into the right knee. And then bring the forearm to the right thigh, left arm up and over the left ear. Now, today this might feel good, or you might be able to go a little lower. So if you can, bring the hand, right hand to the outside of the right foot and continue to send the left arm up and over. See if that works. Another option, and some might be able to go there, we've kind of played around with in the past. You can bring the right shoulder to the inside of the right knee and find a bind. So if you can get the shoulder down there, then you'll take that left arm up and over the back, bring the right arm underneath the thigh, and see if the fingers can find each other and lock up there. And even if you just try it and say, okay, I'm this many inches away, and then just go back to where you were before. Now we're still going to spiral the heart upwards. And then we're going to take one more deep breath here. And start to come out of this. Come back up to standing, arms to a T. Pivot so the left toes face the back of the mat, right toes slightly in. Send into the left knee, lunging there, left forearm to the thigh, right arm up and over. Here again, finding that place where you can feel a sense of challenge, the next level of challenge. Maybe hand to the outside of the left foot. Maybe you find a bind, getting the left shoulder down towards the knee first, right arm up and over the low back, up and over the back really. And then that left arm comes underneath the thigh to find the right hand. Another deep breath. And we'll start to come up. Arms to a T. Pivot the feet to the right. Let's revolve that posture. This time we're facing front of the mat. Right toes face forward. Left toes slightly forward. And then lunge into the right knee. Maybe the back heel can stay planted. You might have to lift it. We're going to bring the palms together. And then on the next exhale, hook the left elbow outside of the right thigh or knee. Bring the palms together. Look past the right elbow. If it's too much to keep the heel down, again, lift the heel. If it's too much for that, bring the left knee down. Pull the low belly in, even though it's still kind of relaxed. So you're not really tensing it up. You're softening and pulling it in. Another deep breath. And we'll inhale, come up to standing, arms to a T. Exhale, pivot to the left, bring the hands together. I'll actually pivot to the back of the mat. Find that lunge into the left knee, and then when you're ready, right elbow outside of the left thigh. Palms stay together. Looking past the left elbow. Crown of the head still sending in the same direction as the left toes. Turn the fingers inward to face the chest. If you have the back heel planted, you'll get a little calf stretch here. Let's see if you can definitely keep that back leg straight if the knee isn't on the mat. Pull the belly inward. Pull up on the pelvic floor. And we'll start to come back up. Arms to a T. Exhale, bring the feet together, and we'll bring the palms together, standing tall in Samastitihi. Couple deep breaths. So because we did a hip flexor release today, it might be good to do a standing posture working with that muscle. So it actually might be more effective. So if you need some support for balancing, you will bring the left side of your body towards the wall or towards a chair, whatever you're going to use. Utthita Hasta Pada Angustasana is where we're going to go today. So we have hands to hips, feet hips distance apart. And the next inhalation, start to send the weight over to the left leg, engage the thigh and the glute. And then the next inhalation, lift the right knee up and hold the right knee with the right hand. Make sure the left leg is active and make sure you aren't sinking into the hip. You might grasp the right big toe with the peace fingers and extend the leg out, even if it's just a little. If you don't bend, if you don't straighten that whole leg, that's fine. We'll take the leg over to the right and maybe turn the head to the left. That will throw the body off. So you have to compensate for the lack of the use of your vision to support you, or the throwing off of vision. We're going to bring the knee to center and then take the head down towards the knee as you lift the knee up. And then exhale. Keep the leg lifted, extend the leg forward, take the arms upward. Pull the belly in, spread the right toes. We haven't been doing this at all lately, so it's a good one though. Take another deep breath. And exhale, release. That was a really condensed version. So we're going to have the hands to the hips and start with the right side. Shift over to the right leg. Lift the left knee up. Touch the left knee with the left hand, holding it there. Again, maybe you're going to grasp the big toe and extend a little bit. Take the leg to the left. Turn the head to the right. Bring the knee to center. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lift the trunk, the arms, the leg, extending the legs, spread the toes, even if it's just an inch off the mat. Keep it lifted, pull the belly in. And we'll exhale, release. Shake out the arms and the legs. We're going to come back to star posture, facing the side of the mat. Separating the legs, bring the arms to a T. Exhale, bring the hands behind, interlace the fingers. Squeeze the shoulders back, look upwards. Exhale, fold forward. Sending arms up overhead, turning toes inward. And we'll release the arms down. Going to walk closer towards one straight leg. So we'll just go over towards the right. So begin to walk hands towards the right foot. They could stay to the inside of the right foot. They could be reaching past the right foot. Keep the legs straight. And if it's too much to have hands to the mat, you've got hands to hopefully a block, right? Or even to the leg, staying halfway up if you're dealing with a lot of tightness. We'll walk over to the other side. As much extension in the arms and the back as you can. walk back to center. Separate the feet as much as you can and then fold in. We're just going to take 5 deep breaths, taking the feet a little further, maybe bringing forearms down if possible. It's about 5, maybe one more. Going to plant the hands, heel toe the feet a little closer together until you can come down to hands and knees, and then just shift to face the front of the mat where we're going to rest in a child's posture. So bringing the big toes together, maybe separating the the knees, keeping the toes together, big toes, releasing down. We'll take a breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Next inhalation, rise up to table. So just a little moment there to rest. Now we're going to work with the cat-cow to help continuing with the low back. So inhaling, belly sinking, head and tailbone lifting. Exhale, belly engaging, and then really scooping the belly up on the exhalation. Stretching the low back and also strengthening the front of that region in the abdomen. Inhaling and exhaling. A few more of these. Come to neutral spine. Inhale, lift the right arm up. Exhale, thread the right arm through. We're going to thread the needle, right side of the face down, but we're going to straighten that right arm and then straighten the fingers and pull the right shoulder back. It's a little bit more effective in releasing tension under the shoulder blade. Press into the left hand, lift the right arm up. Exhale, bring the hand down. Inhale, lift the left arm. Exhale, thread through. Come down to the left side of the face. Straighten the left arm, the left fingers, and then pull the left shoulder back. Right palm down. Inhale, lift the left arm up. Bring the hand down. Now, pigeon really quickly, right knee to right hand, left leg slides back, just to kind of, I don't know, top off what we've done already in this region. So now we're going to release down and just take about 3 full breaths. Very effective in letting those breaths impact the motion of the abdomen, the rib cage, and letting that region press into the right thigh. And that's our 3 breaths. Start to rise and switch sides. And there we go. I'm going to start to rise. See what you'd like to do next. Maybe you want to take a little vinyasa or come into downward facing dog. Then we're going to be meeting in seated, so we can work with the neck a bit before we rest. Okay, so when you're ready, let's see, just give the head a little bit of motion. You can go side to side a few times, and then go up and down a few times. Let's go left and right a few times. So like ear towards shoulder. Drop the head, chin down, but slightly in towards the neck, and give a little bit of rolling to the head, side to side. So we're going to keep the chin down, but bring the head to center, and then just start to move the head closer to the left shoulder, so the whole head moves. The chin pretty much, stays in the same level as it was when it was centered. We're just moving to like look at the left thigh. Now take the whole head over to look at the right thigh. We'll bring the chin to center. Bring the head up. Lift one ear. We'll take one ear upwards towards the sky. And we'll bring the head to center. Take the other ear upward. And we'll bring the head back to center. A little bit of motion just to shake things out. Feel the whole neck functioning better than before. And then we're going to lie down and come all the way down to the back to rest. So once you're there, let's take the legs away from each other, maybe cover up with a blanket if you're a little cold. Take the shoulders back, and then let the weight of the body stabilize the shoulder blades. Keep the palms flipped upwards. Take a couple breaths out through the mouth. I'm going to tense everything up for a moment before we rest. So just one time, inhaling, closing the fist tightly, clenching the jaw, closing the eyes tightly, closing the toes, activating the upper arms, lower arms, the glutes, the thighs, the calves. And then exhale, release everything. With a big exhalation out through the mouth. Feel the whole body deflate. Not just in terms of the air, but in terms of the effort now. And really just paying attention before we let that attention drift. Just keeping the body motionless, except for its own activity without your effort. The heart still beating, the lungs still moving, the blood still flowing, the fluid still traveling around and doing even a better job than before. Now you can just let those processes be. as you shift the attention to the body itself and see that it is less agitated and soothed. Then you can look to the heart, the feelings that come in before we're even aware of them, and then what becomes emotions after we think about them, and letting those be as they are now in a calmer position than they were before. A soothed heart. Now seeing that the mind is clearer, less jumbled, less cluttered. In that respect, cleaner, shinier. And feeling that full integration of the body and the heart and the mind. Feeling that wholeness, that clarity in all three vehicles. And now just opening in every way possible and just being receptive now to that spiritual light that is simply waiting for us to recognize it. Resting in that light. Without changing anything at this time, simply become aware of the whole body. Notice the whole body is vibrant. That life energy is moving through the whole body from the crown of the head, the brain, down into, all the vital organs, all the muscles, all the tissues, the ligaments, the bones, the cells. Feeling that vibrancy, and maybe a sensation that is like vibrating, vibrant and vibrating, buzzing throughout. Replenishing this energy so that you can continue doing good work in the world, whether it's just simply in a smile or in a project that is much bigger than you. And that smile is also, in the eyes of somebody else, bigger and really important. So let's start to move now by taking deeper breaths, moving the hands and the feet, moving the arms behind. Some motion, maybe the knees travel side to side. Just kind of feel out what would feel right to you at this time. Maybe a happy baby. I'm going to bring the knees into the chest and sway a little bit. Eventually rolling over to a side and pausing there. And then when you're ready, find your way up to seated. Sitting up nice and tall. We'll bring the palms together. And we'll end with Mangala mantra. This is to send out the wishes of success for the whole world, that all find freedom from suffering. And further than that, they find true realization and harmony with life. Svasti prajabhya paripalayantam nyayena margena mahi mahisha go brahmanebhyah shubhamastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. I honor the light in you that is the same light in me. Namaste.